All right, so today we're diving into some classic Greek mythology, but you know, it's gonna be one of those stories that you think, but we're gonna look at it with fresh eyes.
Okay.
We all have that image of Zeus with like the lightning bolts, right?
Right.
But have you ever like wondered what even brought him to that point?
Yeah.
What did people do that was so bad that it was like, okay, King of the Gods, you got to go deal with this.
Right.
So that's what this deep dive is all about.
Okay.
We're looking at the wrath of Zeus, but this excerpt that we're looking at goes way beyond just like the surface level.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about a god having a bad day.
Right.
We're going to uncover all those nuances of like divine power. Like, what does justice even mean to these guys? And that balance between gods and mortals, because that always gets messed up.
It really does. And it's interesting because the text itself really goes out of its way to set that stage, I think, by giving us this like almost overwhelming sense of Zeus's domain.
Oh, okay.
It's Mount Olympus, but it's not just a mountain. It's
Yeah.
like we're told it's this city of light, a place where like even the palaces shimmer with gold, just like, oh.
Yeah, it's like if you tried to imagine like the most opulent, like powerful place you can think of, and then times that by like 1,000.
Exactly.
And then at the center of it all
Yeah.
is Zeus just like chilling on his throne. And it even says something about like he's practically radiating authority.
Yes.
You get the sense that even the other gods are like, oh.
Exactly. And I think that emphasis on the visuals is really key because the text isn't just telling us who's in charge, right? It wants us to feel that power. Like, this isn't just Zeus in a bad mood. This is like cosmic order with him at the very top.
Right.
And that order, as we're about to see, is about to be seriously disrupted.
Because while all of that grandeur is going on up on Mount Olympus, down on Earth, things are not going so great.
Yeah.
Peace has basically left the chat.
Pretty much.
We've got arrogance. We've got wars erupting left and right. Like, imagine those news headlines. Zeus is getting up on his cloud scroll.
Breaking news, mortals forget how to behave.
Right, exactly.
Film and 11.
But here's where I think it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Because the text doesn't just say, like, oh, humans are being bad or whatever.
Right.
It uses this phrase, a disruption of balance.
And that balance is critical, I think, for understanding this whole thing, because it's not just that mortals are, like, misbehaving. It's that their very forgetfulness of the gods has consequences.
Yeah.
It's like cutting off communication with someone, and we all know that never ends well.
Right. Like, if you knew a being with the power of Zeus was, like, watching your every move,
Yeah.
maybe keeping that offering bowl a little more full wouldn't be a bad idea.
Maybe just a little something, just in case.
So, when Zeus sees a disruption of balance and he's like, all right, it's go time.
Yeah.
How does he react?
Not subtly.
Not subtly at all.
Yeah.
We're talking full-on epic thunderstorm here.
Right.
And when I say epic, I mean the text goes all out.
Oh, yeah.
Like lightning bolts are described as fiery whips. The earth is splitting open.
Yeah.
Like Mother Nature is having a very dramatic temper tantrum.
Yeah, and I think it's really important the language that the text uses to describe Zeus's anger here.
Oh.
It's not just like annoyance or frustration, it's fury, it's wrath. Like those are very deliberate choices, I think.
Yeah.
They convey this sense of like a righteous anger, a power that's been challenged and like demands to be respected.
Right. It's not just someone being grumpy.
Yeah.
This is a force of nature.
Exactly.
And you definitely don't want to be on the receiving end of that group text.
No, you do not.
Like everyone's on the text thread being like, oh, what happened?
Right.
But then here's where things take an interesting turn.
Okay.
Because it's not just Zeus, just like totally unchecked, unleashing this power.
Right.
We have other major players who kind of like step onto the scene and are like, all right, hold on, we gotta talk about this.
Yeah, this is where we get Athena and Hera stepping in, and I think their roles are super interesting. Because it shows that we're not just dealing with Zeus's one-man show here.
Yeah.
This is the divine council he has to contend with other perspectives and powers.
Yeah, it's like that family meeting where everybody's trying to keep it cool, but you can feel the tension.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you could cut it with like a celestial butter knife.
Right. And Athena, ever the voice of reason,
Yeah.
appeals to Zeus's strategy,
Yes.
basically saying, okay, we get it, you made your point, but maybe this is a little overkill.
Right.
Like, is this really helping anyone?
Right.
Dial it back a little bit.
Okay, so Athena's kind of like the voice of reason there,
Right.
but then Hera steps in.
Yes.
And that's where I think things get really interesting because she's not just trying to like de-escalate.
Yeah.
she's appealing to something much deeper.
She is. And it's really, I think, a testament to her wisdom that she's able to do this.
Right.
Because she's not challenging his authority directly.
Right.
But she reminds him that even in anger, a true ruler has to act justly.
Right, like you have all this power, but there's
Yeah.
responsibility with that.
Exactly. You can't just rule by might. There has to be that sense of fairness.
I mean, it's not like Prometheus just like stole a grape from the god buffet here.
Right. This is not a minor infraction.
This is the dude who gave humanity fire, like straight up gave them the ability to like cook food and like not freeze to death.
Exactly. Against Zeus's direct orders, by the way.
You think he'd be like laying low after that?
You'd think.
Maybe like finding a nice cave somewhere Zeus wouldn't think to look.
Right. Just chilling out for a bit.
But no, not Prometheus.
Nope.
He sees what's going on down on Earth and he's like, conscience is kicking in.
Can't help himself.
Got to do something.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what makes Prometheus such a compelling figure.
Yeah.
He's this rebel, this champion of humanity, even when it puts him, like, directly in the line of fire, so to speak.
Right. Well, he's about to be in the line of fire, like literally.
Yeah, that's coming.
But what I think is really interesting about this time is it's not a physical gift like fire.
Right.
It's something way more powerful.
It's knowledge. It's courage. It's like Prometheus skipped the how to make a spear lesson.
Right.
And went straight to, like, here's how you organize, here's how you strategize, here's how you fight for what you believe in, even when the odds are stacked against you.
It's like Prometheus went from teaching them how to make fire to teaching them how to use it.
Exactly. And of course, this changes everything.
Oh, yeah. Now Zeus is like, hold on a minute.
Now we're not just talking about disobeying orders. We're
Mhm.
talking about free will, self-determination, all those big ideas that probably have Zeus, like, adjusting his godly toga a little uncomfortably.
And Zeus's response to this whole Prometheus giving humans even more power thing,
Yeah.
let's just say it's not a warm hug.
No, not exactly. We're talking about the full fury of Zeus unleashed.
Yeah, this is where that whole lightning bolt thing really comes into play.
Oh, yeah. Prometheus gets a one-way ticket to Painville.
It's brutal, even for a pantheon known for, like, really enjoying a good punishment.
Right. Even the other gods are like, whoa, Zeus, maybe you're overdoing it a little.
It's like they all got handed the group text after Zeus hit reply all with a lightning bolt emoji.
Exactly. A little awkward, to say the least.
But Hera, being Hera, she steps in again.
Of course she does. Someone has to be the voice of reason.
But I think it's important to point out, like, she's not just trying to calm Zeus down this time.
No, she's appealing to something much deeper.
Right, like she's trying to get him to see the bigger picture.
Exactly. She's reminding him that, yes, you're powerful, you're the king, but true power is about more than just force.
Right, it's about using that power wisely.
And justly, she's basically saying, look, everyone knows you're not to be messed with, but how about a little mercy to go with that might?
And it works. Zeus calms down the storm clouds part, like literally everyone on Earth breathes a sigh of relief.
Right, but here's the thing. The ending of the story, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Because Prometheus is still stuck on that rock.
Exactly. The immediate crisis is averted, but the consequences of defiance, they're still very real.
And it makes you think, what would you be willing to endure for what you believe in?
Right, would you risk the wrath of a god to help others?
It's a question that feels surprisingly relevant even today.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, these myths aren't just ancient stories. They're reflections on the human condition, on the choices we make, and the consequences we face. And that's something that'll never get old.
So next time you see a thunderstorm brewing, just remember, might be Zeus up there dealing with a disruption of balance.
And spare a thought for Prometheus, who dared to challenge the king of the gods and taught us all a thing or two about courage and the price of freedom.